Federal Drive is presented by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, proudly providing health and dental benefits to federal employees and their families. Visit GEHA.com.
President Donald Trump announced last week that every service member would receive a $1,776 bonus right before Christmas. The president suggested that the money would come from excess tariff revenues. Turns out the money is coming from funds Congress already approved to boost military housing allowance. Federal News Network's Anastasia Obis is here with more detail. Anastasia, good to have you.
Hi, Terry.
Tell us more about this Warrior Dividend bonus that President Trump announced.
Yeah, so when Trump addressed the nation last Wednesday, which was pretty much a campaign speech, it was a lot of it was about the economy. And during that speech, he floated that they will use the tariff revenue to give service members a bonus right before Christmas. Like you said, it's $1,776 to honor the nation's founding in 1776 and its upcoming 250th anniversary. Here's Trump.
Tonight, I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes.
Anastasia, it sounds like he's saying explicitly there that the money is coming from tariff revenue and some funding from the big, beautiful bill as well. Where have you discovered that the money is actually coming from to make these payments?
Turns out this bonus is actually a one-time basic allowance for housing stipend. In July, when the One Big Beautiful bill was signed into law, Congress allocated $2.9 billion to supplement the basic allowance for housing. This allowance, it covers about 95% of average cost of an off-base housing and utilities, and then service members pay about 5% out of pocket. So this money was supposed to address rising housing costs and reduce service members' out-of-pocket expenses in the next 2 years. Instead, the Pentagon will spend about $2.6 billion of that funding as a one-time payment to about 1.28 million active duty service members and 174,000 reserve component members. Here's Hexeth.
1776. As you know, our great nation was founded in the crucible of revolution in that year. Now, as we enter the Christmas season some 250 years later, we are proud to provide 1776 with a whole new modern meaning for our joint force. As he announced to the nation last night, thanks to President Trump's unwavering commitment to our warriors and the provisions provided in the One Big Beautiful bill, more than 1.45 million service members will, in the coming days, receive a one-time tax-free bonus of $1,776. This has never happened before. Every member of our military, E1 to 06. We're calling it the Warrior Dividend, a direct investment in the brave men and women who carry on the legacy of our armed forces every single day.
So, Anastasia, he says the bonus will be tax-free. Is that in fact true?
Yes, it is, but most allowances that make up a significant portion of service members' compensation, including basic allowance for housing, are tax exempt. The Defense Department said that this payment will be made outside of the regular pay cycle, and I think service members should have gotten their bonus by now.
Since this housing allowance funding was provided by Congress in the One Big Beautiful bill, is it actually tied to tariff revenue at all?
I never received a response from the White House about Trump implying that the bonus came from excess tariff revenues, but he has made similar claims before. In May, for example, he touted a substantial military pay raise in 2026 as part of this effort to rebuild the armed forces, but the increase is always authorized in the annual defense policy bill passed by Congress, and it follows formulas for keeping pace with civilian wages. Also, in addition to that, Trump has floated this idea of sending $2,000 to all Americans using tariff revenue, but Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said multiple times that the move would require congressional approval. He said we would need legislation for that.
In terms of other bonuses, Secretary Hegseth has said he wants to authorize bonuses for top performers. So a performance bonus, if you will. Who is going to be qualified for those?
Yeah, it's not very clear, but he said in order to recognize and reward the very best civilians, the department will pay from 15 to 25% of basic pay, up to $25,000, to the top 15% of top performers. Like I said, it's not really clear who is qualified, who is eligible, or how the department defines top performers. But Hegseth said in a memo that if the services wish to reallocate funding to award bonuses to more than 15% of civilians, they can do that with their own internal budgets. And civilians who are qualified, who are eligible for this bonus, should get it before January 30th.
So this would be separate from the normal annual performance evaluation cycle in the Department of Defense.
It's unclear. That's the question I asked them, and they never responded to me, so we don't really know.
So much uncertainty here at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
That's Federal News Network's Anastasia Obis, and you can find her story at federalnewsnetwork.com.